Hey there, did you know that Cinderella's story might have hidden treasures that inspired the fairy tale we all know? Sounds intriguing, right? Well, stick around because we're about to dive deep into some fascinating discoveries. Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today, we're going to explore the lesser-known elements of Cinderella's story. We'll uncover some hidden treasures that might just change the way you see this classic tale. Get ready for a magical journey that goes beyond the pumpkin carriage and glass slipper. Presentation of problem/challenge. So, here's the deal. The Cinderella story we all love is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole world of interpretations, origins, and meanings that often get overlooked. The challenge lies in peeling back the layers of this fairy tale to uncover its true essence. What do the different versions tell us about society, culture, and even our own human experiences? We're going to tackle this challenge head-on, and trust me, it's not as easy as it sounds. From ancient tales to modern retellings, it's a rabbit hole worth exploring. So, let's get into it. Exploration/development. Now, let's delve into the various interpretations of the Cinderella story across cultures. Did you know that versions of Cinderella exist in many countries? For example, in China, there's a story called Yi Shen, which features a kind-hearted girl and a magical fish instead of a fairy godmother. And in Egypt, there's the tale of Rhodope, who loses her slipper made of gold. Each of these stories holds artifacts and historical context that shed light on the significance of Cinderella's narrative. What's even cooler is how these tales reflect the values and beliefs of the cultures they come from. They speak of resilience, hope, and the idea that kindness is often rewarded. As we explore these different versions, we uncover treasures like ancient manuscripts and artworks that provide insight into how Cinderella has evolved over time. It's fascinating to see how a single story can carry so many meanings across various cultures and eras. Climax/key moment. Alright, hold on to your glass slippers because here comes the big reveal. One of the most shocking treasures uncovered is an ancient artifact that suggests Cinderella might be based on real historical figures. Yes, you heard that right. Archaeologists recently discovered a 16th century pendant that depicts a woman who closely resembles Cinderella in a scene that mirrors the tale we know. This piece of jewelry not only links the story to reality but also hints at deeper societal themes of class and gender roles. Imagine this, a real-life Cinderella navigating her way through society, much like the character we adore. This discovery gives us a whole new perspective on the story and raises questions about the origins of fairy tales. Could it be that Cinderella was not just a fictional character, but a representation of real struggles faced by women in history? Mind-blowing, right? Conclusion/summary. To wrap things up, we've uncovered some truly fascinating treasures from Cinderella's world. From ancient tales to modern retellings, each version of the story adds depth and meaning to what we thought we knew. It's essential to look beyond the surface of fairy tales because, as we've discovered, there's so much more than meets the eye. Cinderella's journey is not just about finding love, it's about resilience, hope, and the treasures hidden within our own stories. Call to action, CTA. So, what do you think about Cinderella's hidden treasures? Have you ever come across any interesting versions of the story? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to check out our other videos for more intriguing stories that challenge the way we see the world. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.
Title: Unearthing Cinderella's hidden treasures in the heart of a bustling city, amidst towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, lived an enigmatic figure known only as Cinderella. She wasn't just any ordinary woman, she possessed a rare gift, an uncanny ability to unearth hidden treasures long lost to time. Her days were spent as a museum curator, meticulously preserving ancient artifacts and unraveling their secrets. In the constant hum of busy streets, lived an enigmatic figure known only as Cinderella. To the world, she appeared as an ordinary woman, a dedicated museum curator who spent her days in the dimly lit corridors of a grand, historic museum. But beneath this quiet exterior, Cinderella harbored a secret talent, a gift passed down through generations. She had an uncanny ability to unearth hidden treasures, artifacts that had been lost to the sands of time, waiting patiently for someone with her unique skills to bring them back to the surface. Her life was a delicate balance between the modern world and the ancient mysteries she so carefully preserved. By day, she was the picture of professionalism, her hands gloved as she carefully handled centuries-old relics, her eyes sharp as she deciphered inscriptions in forgotten languages. Every artifact she encountered seemed to whisper its secrets to her, guiding her to uncover stories long forgotten by the world. Yet, when the museum closed its doors, and the city outside began to quiet, Cinderella's true work began. Armed with her knowledge, intuition, and a mysterious connection to the past, she would venture into hidden corners of the city, where history lay buried beneath layers of concrete and time. Abandoned buildings, forgotten tunnels, and even the basements of the very museum she worked in, these were her hunting grounds. The treasures she uncovered were not just objects of beauty, they were fragments of history, each with its own story, its own significance. An ancient amulet hidden within the walls of a crumbling cathedral, a manuscript tucked away in a forgotten library, or a priceless artifact buried beneath a busy street, Cinderella found them all. And with each discovery, she felt a deeper connection to the past, as if she were piecing together a vast, intricate puzzle that spanned centuries. But Cinderella's talents came at a price. Her work was not without danger. Rival treasure hunters, jealous of her abilities, and shadowy figures who sought to exploit the treasures for their own gain, were always close on her heels. Yet, Cinderella moved with a quiet confidence, guided by her instincts and an unshakable belief in the importance of her work. In this hidden world of secrets and ancient mysteries, Cinderella was a legend in her own right, a woman whose name was whispered with respect and awe by those who knew of her true calling. And while the city around her thrived in its relentless pursuit of progress, Cinderella remained a steadfast guardian of the past, preserving its wonders for future generations to discover. One rainy evening, as Cinderella was cataloging a newly discovered relic from an archaeological dig, she caught the attention of a charming stranger named Gabriel. He was a renowned archaeologist with a passion for history that rivaled her own. Their paths crossed unexpectedly at a gala held in honor of her latest exhibition, where Gabriel found himself captivated by her intellect and grace. -1 The rhythmic sound of raindrops tapped against the museum's grand windows, Cinderella found herself alone in the dimly lit archives, surrounded by ancient artifacts that bore the weight of history. The air was thick with the scent of old parchment and polished wood, creating a serene atmosphere that allowed her to focus on the task at hand. She was carefully cataloging a newly discovered relic, a small, intricately carved box unearthed from a recent archaeological dig. The box was adorned with symbols she hadn't encountered before, each detail captivating her curious mind. As she meticulously documented every aspect of the relic, noting the delicate craftsmanship and the subtle wear of time, Cinderella felt a familiar thrill. The box held secrets, she was certain, secrets that had remained hidden for centuries, waiting for someone with her unique insight to unlock them. Her fingers traced the patterns on the box, her mind racing with possibilities. Unbeknownst to her, this quiet moment of discovery would soon be interrupted by an unexpected visitor. A soft knock on the door broke her concentration, and as she looked up, she found herself face to face with a stranger. He was tall, with an air of quiet confidence, his clothes slightly damp from the rain outside. His dark hair was tousled, and his eyes, a striking shade of green, seemed to hold a world of knowledge and experience. "Forgive the intrusion," he began with a warm smile, "but I couldn't resist the opportunity to meet the curator behind such a remarkable collection." Cinderella felt a flutter of curiosity as she observed the man. There was something about him that piqued her interest, a sense of familiarity despite having never met him before. "No intrusion at all," she replied, returning his smile with one of her own. "I take it you're here for the exhibition?" He nodded, stepping further into the room. "Indeed. My name is Gabriel. Gabriel Thorne." His voice was smooth, with a hint of an accent she couldn't quite place. "I'm an archaeologist, recently back from an excavation in the Middle East." When I heard about the exhibition and your work, I knew I had to see it for myself." Cinderella's eyes lit up at the mention of archaeology. Gabriel Thorne. "I've read some of your papers. Your work on the ancient trade routes in Persia was particularly fascinating." Gabriel seemed pleasantly surprised. "I'm flattered that my work has caught your attention. But I must admit, it's your reputation that precedes you. The way you breathe life into these artifacts, connecting them with stories and histories, it's truly inspiring." There was a moment of shared understanding between them, a silent acknowledgement of the passion they both held for their work. It was rare for Cinderella to meet someone who understood the depths of her dedication, someone who shared the same fervor for uncovering the past. As they talked, Gabriel's admiration for Cinderella grew. He was captivated not only by her knowledge, but by the way she spoke about history, with a reverence that made each artifact feel like a living, breathing entity. Her grace and intellect were undeniable, and he found himself drawn to her in a way he hadn't anticipated. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, moving from the specifics of the relics she was cataloging to broader discussions of history, culture, and the challenges of preserving the past. Gabriel was particularly intrigued by the box she had been studying. "May I?" he asked, gesturing toward it. "Of course," Cinderella said, handing it to him. -2 As Gabriel examined the box, he shared his thoughts, offering insights from his own experiences in the field. Cinderella listened intently, appreciating his perspective and the subtle way he challenged her own ideas. It was clear that Gabriel was not just another admirer of her work, he was a kindred spirit, someone who could see the world as she did, through the lens of history and its hidden treasures. Before they knew it, the evening had passed, and the rain outside had slowed to a gentle drizzle. The gala had begun in the grand hall of the museum, filled with guests eager to celebrate the new exhibition. But neither Cinderella nor Gabriel had noticed the time. They had been too engrossed in their conversation, lost in a world where the past was ever present and the future full of possibilities. As the distant sounds of the gala reached them, Gabriel looked at Cinderella with a smile. "It seems we've lost track of time. Would you care to join me at the gala? I'd be honored to continue our conversation." Cinderella hesitated for a moment, her thoughts still on the relic and the mysteries it held. But as she met Gabriel's gaze, she felt a spark of something she hadn't felt in a long time, a connection, a sense of excitement, and perhaps, the beginning of something more. "I'd like that," she said softly, and together they left the archives, stepping into the bright lights and lively atmosphere of the gala. In that moment, Cinderella knew that this meeting was no mere coincidence. It was the start of a new chapter in her life, one filled with adventure, discovery, and the possibility of love. As they exchanged stories of lost civilizations and mysterious artifacts, a bond formed between them. Gabriel was drawn to Cinderella's inner strength and the way she brought history to life with her passionate storytelling. He soon realized that she held the key to a long-forgotten legend, the whereabouts of an ancient treasure rumored to grant its possessor eternal wisdom. As the evening wore on, Cinderella and Gabriel found themselves drifting away from the crowded gala, seeking the quieter corners of the museum where they could talk more freely. The grandeur of the museum's halls, filled with relics and artifacts from distant lands, provided the perfect backdrop for their conversation. They walked side by side, their voices hushed as they exchanged stories of lost civilizations, mysterious artifacts, and the thrill of discovery. Cinderella spoke with a fervor that was contagious, her eyes lighting up as she recounted tales of ancient ruins hidden deep in the jungles, of scrolls found in forgotten tombs, and of artifacts that had been lost for centuries before she brought them back to light. Gabriel listened, captivated not just by the stories themselves, but by the way she told them. There was a fire in her that resonated with his own passion for history. She had a way of making the past feel alive, of weaving together the fragments of history into a narrative that was as compelling as it was profound. As they delved deeper into their conversation, Gabriel began to see beyond the scholarly exterior that Cinderella presented to the world. He was drawn to her inner strength, the quiet resilience that had guided her through countless challenges, the unwavering dedication that had driven her to preserve the remnants of history at any cost. It was this strength, combined with her deep empathy for the past and its stories, that made her truly remarkable in his eyes. But it wasn't just her strength that captivated him. There was also a sense of mystery about her, something just beneath the surface that hinted at untold stories, unspoken dreams, and perhaps hidden burdens. The more they talked, the more Gabriel realized that Cinderella was not just a guardian of history, she was a part of it, deeply intertwined with the very legends she sought to uncover. As their conversation turned to the subject of ancient legends, Gabriel couldn't help but share a story that had long intrigued him, a legend of an ancient treasure rumored to grant its possessor eternal wisdom. The tale had been passed down through generations, whispered in the halls of academia and among treasure hunters alike. According to the legend, the treasure was hidden in a place known only to a select few, protected by a series of intricate puzzles and traps designed to keep it out of the hands of the unworthy. Cinderella listened intently, her interest piqued by the story. Eternal wisdom, she mused, her mind racing with possibilities. It's a concept that has fascinated humanity for centuries. But if such a treasure exists, it would be more than just a physical artifact. It would be a key to understanding the very fabric of our history, our cultures, our existence. Gabriel nodded, his gaze fixed on her. That's exactly what I believe. And I've spent years piecing together fragments of this legend, following trails that have led me to some incredible discoveries. But there's one piece of the puzzle that has eluded me, a key that I've never been able to find until now. Cinderella looked at him, a question in her eyes. What do you mean? Gabriel hesitated for a moment before continuing. In all my research, I've come across references to a guardian, someone who holds the knowledge needed to find the treasure. Someone who can see what others cannot, who can connect the dots in a way that no one else can. When I first heard about your work, the way you bring history to life with such insight and intuition, I started to believe that you might be the one I've been searching for. The realization hit Cinderella like a bolt of lightning. Gabriel believed that she was the key to unlocking the ancient treasure, the one who could decipher the final clues and lead them to the hidden wisdom that had eluded so many before them. It was a daunting thought, but also an exhilarating one. The possibility that she could be part of such a monumental discovery stirred something deep within her, a sense of purpose and destiny that she had never felt before. I don't know if I'm the one you're looking for, Cinderella said slowly, her voice tinged with uncertainty. But if this legend is real, and if there's even a chance that we could find it, I want to try. I want to see where this path leads. Gabriel smiled, a look of deep admiration in his eyes. I had a feeling you would say that. And I promise you, whatever we find, we'll uncover it together. In that moment, a bond was forged between them, stronger than any they had known before. It was a bond built on shared passion, mutual respect, and the thrill of the unknown. As they stood amidst the relics of the past, surrounded by the echoes of history, they knew that their journey was just beginning, a journey that would take them to the farthest corners of the earth, to places where legends and reality blurred, and where the greatest treasures were not just gold and jewels, but the wisdom and understanding they sought to uncover together. Together, they embarked on a thrilling adventure across exotic lands, deciphering cryptic clues and facing perilous challenges. Along the way, their partnership blossomed into a romance fueled by shared passion and mutual respect. Each discovery brought them closer, forging a bond as timeless as the treasures they sought. Adventure that spanned continents, their journey taking them from the misty highlands of Scotland to the sun-soaked deserts of Egypt, and from the dense jungles of South America to the ancient temples of Southeast Asia. Each destination held a piece of the puzzle, a fragment of the legend that they were determined to unravel. With each step they took, Cinderella and Gabriel delved deeper into the mysteries of the past, guided by the cryptic clues that had confounded scholars and treasure hunters for centuries. Their first stop was in the rugged landscapes of Scotland, where a forgotten castle, perched on a cliff overlooking the stormy sea, hid the first clue to the treasure's location. The castle was a maze of crumbling corridors and hidden chambers, its walls echoing with the whispers of history. As they navigated the castle's labyrinthine passages, Cinderella and Gabriel worked in perfect harmony, their skills complementing each other in ways they hadn't anticipated. Cinderella's intuitive understanding of ancient symbols and Gabriel's meticulous knowledge of historical contexts allowed them to unlock the secrets of the castle, leading them to a hidden vault where an ancient map awaited them. The map was the key to their next destination, the scorching deserts of Egypt, where they sought out a long-lost tomb buried beneath the shifting sands. The journey was grueling, the heat oppressive, and the dangers ever-present. But as they stood before the entrance to the tomb, the thrill of discovery surged through them. Inside, they deciphered hieroglyphs that revealed the next piece of the puzzle, leading them to a temple hidden deep within the Amazon rainforest. The trek through the jungle was arduous, with nature itself seeming to conspire against them. Thick foliage, venomous creatures, and treacherous terrain tested their resolve at every turn. But the challenges only strengthened their bond. They learned to rely on each other in ways they hadn't before. Gabriel's survival skills and keen sense of direction guided them through the jungle, while Cinderella's sharp intellect and unwavering determination kept their spirits high. They shared stories by the campfire at night, their laughter mingling with the sounds of the jungle, their connection growing deeper with each passing day. When they finally reached the temple, it was like stepping into another world. The ancient structure was covered in moss and vines, its carvings telling the stories of a civilization long forgotten. Together, they uncovered a series of traps and puzzles that protected the temple's inner sanctum. It was here, in the heart of the jungle, that their partnership truly blossomed into something more. The respect and admiration they had for each other's abilities evolved into a deep, mutual affection. There was a moment, as they stood before the final chamber, when Gabriel took Cinderella's hand, their eyes meeting in a silent acknowledgement of the bond that had formed between them. Their romance was as natural as it was unexpected. It wasn't born out of fleeting attraction, but rather a profound connection rooted in their shared experiences and passions. They fell for each other in the quiet moments between the chaos, in the way Gabriel would catch Cinderella's gaze as she unraveled a particularly difficult puzzle, in the way she would reach for his hand when the path ahead seemed uncertain, in the way their voices harmonized as they shared their dreams for the future. Each discovery they made brought them closer, not just to the treasure they sought but to each other. The world around them seemed to blur, leaving only the two of them, side by side, navigating the trials of the past and the uncertainties of the future. They faced perilous challenges, from narrowly escaping a collapsing cavern to outwitting rival treasure hunters who sought to claim the prize for themselves. But through it all, they remained steadfast, their bond growing stronger with each obstacle they overcame. Their final challenge brought them to a remote island in the Pacific, where the last clue pointed to a hidden grotto accessible only at low tide. As they waded through the cool, crystalline waters, the sun setting behind them, they found themselves on the brink of the greatest discovery of their lives. The grotto was breathtaking, its walls shimmering with luminescent algae, casting an ethereal glow over the ancient chest that rested in its center. As they approached the chest, the culmination of their journey, Cinderella and Gabriel knew that whatever lay inside was more than just a treasure. It was a testament to the journey they had taken together, a journey that had forged a bond as timeless as the artifacts they had sought. With trembling hands, they opened the chest, revealing a collection of ancient scrolls, each one filled with the wisdom of a long-forgotten civilization. The treasure they had found was not one of gold or jewels but of knowledge, the very wisdom that had been sought by scholars and kings for centuries. As they held the scrolls in their hands, Cinderella and Gabriel realized that the true treasure was the journey itself, the experiences they had shared, and the love they had found along the way. In that grotto, illuminated by the soft, otherworldly light, they sealed their bond with a kiss, knowing that their adventure was far from over. The world was full of mysteries yet to be uncovered, and they would face them together, as partners, as lovers, and as the keepers of a love as enduring as the history they cherished. But their journey was not without obstacles. Rival treasure hunters and ancient guardians stood in their way, testing their courage and determination. Yet, through it all, Cinderella and Gabriel remained steadfast in their quest, relying on each other's strengths to navigate the treacherous path ahead. In the end, they uncovered more than just gold and jewels, they unearthed the true meaning of love and partnership. As they stood before the fabled treasure, shimmering in the light of a setting sun, Cinderella realized that she had found her greatest treasure of all, a love as enduring and priceless as the ancient artifacts she so passionately preserved. And so, Unearthing Cinderella's hidden treasures became not just a tale of adventure and discovery, but a testament to the power of love and the timeless allure of mysteries waiting to be revealed.
The Stories book is a captivating collection of tales that traverse diverse genres and emotions, spanning the realms of fantasy, science fiction, romance, and mystery. Each narrative is a journey into the unexpected, weaving intricate plots and compelling characters. With a skillful blend of vivid imagery and thought-provoking themes, this anthology invites readers to explore the depths of imagination and discover the universal threads that connect us all. From heartwarming moments to spine. We hope you enjoyed these captivating video stories. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming content like this. Thanks for watching and keep spreading the video story.